Have you ever felt the invisible chains tightening around your mind, the subtle pull of someone trying to shape your thoughts, your choices, your very life? Have you felt that quiet pressure, the way someone's presence can weigh on you, bending your energy without you even noticing? That feeling is familiar to many, but the moment you recognize it is the moment everything begins to shift. Because once you see it, once you understand the control that's been exerted over you, something awakens inside. You realize you don't have to comply. You don't have to bend. You don't have to live under the weight of someone else's will. That awakening is terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. Fear rises because for so long, your mind, your emotions, your decisions were influenced by forces outside yourself. But alongside that fear is a quiet fire, a recognition of the power that has always been within you, the power to take back your life, your focus, your energy. And the truth is, when you step into that power, the world changes. Not because the world itself becomes different, but because you see it with clarity, with control, with freedom. When they realize they no longer control you, everything changes. The subtle pressures, the manipulations, the quiet suggestions that once directed your actions, all of it falls flat. You become untouchable, not because you are stronger than them, but because you have chosen yourself over their influence. You have decided that your mind belongs to you, your heart belongs to you, and your choices belong to you. That decision alone is transformative. It is liberation in its purest form. Freedom is not loud. It does not require confrontation or rebellion. It begins quietly within your own mind. It begins with clarity. It begins with the unwavering decision to recognize when someone is attempting to manipulate you and then refusing to comply. Every moment you refuse to bend, every time you stand firm in your own truth, you are reclaiming power that was never theirs to take. And here's the reward, the part that will keep you leaning in. This freedom changes everything. Your energy is no longer scattered by the demands of others. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence strengthens. The life you have been waiting for, the life where your decisions, your dreams, and your happiness are yours and yours alone, becomes possible. Every attempt to control you that once had weight now becomes meaningless. Every manipulation attempt becomes proof of your strength. This is the awakening that cannot be taken away. The moment you break free, you are untouchable. You are sovereign. You are alive in a way you have never been before, because the power to live fully, boldly, and without apology is finally in your hands. You will feel the shift immediately. You will notice the change in how people respond to you. You will notice the difference in yourself. And every single day that you honor this freedom, you are building a life that cannot be diminished, a mind that cannot be bent, and a spirit that cannot be controlled. Your freedom is the ultimate victory, and once you taste it, there is no going back. Every choice, every action, every thought is yours. Unshakable, uncontrollable, unstoppable. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the driver, the architect, the force that shapes your reality, and that power, once awakened, is something no one can ever take from you. Once you claim your mind, your freedom, and your life, you will notice the subtle ways control tries to reassert itself. It does not vanish quietly. It shifts, mutates, and tests you in ways designed to catch you off guard. Confusion appears like a fog creeping over clarity. They may speak in half-truths, contradictions, or veiled suggestions meant to make you question what you know to be true. But the mind anchored in awareness cannot be shaken. You see the tactics for what they are, and that recognition alone renders them powerless. They will attempt to provoke fear, guilt, or doubt. Subtle intimidation may appear as advice, as concern, or as warnings disguised as love. The goal is always the same: to elicit a reaction, to bend your choices, to reclaim what they have lost, but you have practiced discernment. You have strengthened the ability to feel without being controlled, to observe without being drawn into chaos, to choose without being coerced. Every threat, every warning, every attempt at emotional manipulation becomes meaningless when your center is anchored in truth. Isolation becomes another tool they employ. They try to cut you off, to make you doubt your connections, to convince you that you are alone and vulnerable. but you have built an internal network stronger than any external influence. Your clarity, your resilience, your sense of self is unshakable. The more they attempt to divide, the more obvious their desperation becomes. Every attempt at isolation illuminates the very independence they fear. Anger will surface, often disguised as frustration or outrage aimed at provoking a response. They may push, prod, and seek to ignite emotion to fracture your composure, but composure is your strength. Calmness in the face of chaos disarms them entirely. They cannot penetrate a mind that has learned to respond intentionally rather than react impulsively. Every moment of calm is a victory, every unshaken stance a testament to your autonomy. Charm may be deployed suddenly in an attempt to lure you back into influence. Flattery, nostalgia, promises of change, they are all tools to test the boundaries you now uphold. But intuition, once sharpened, recognizes manipulation immediately. You no longer crave approval or validation from those who thrive on control. Every act of persuasion becomes a mirror reflecting the futility of their efforts. When all else fails, withdrawal occurs. They retreat, often silently, sometimes resentfully, because the power they once held over you is gone. This absence is not emptiness. It is proof of your victory. They can no longer influence your life, dictate your decisions, or define your worth. The struggle to control has ended, leaving only the clarity of your freedom and the undeniable truth of your strength. Every tactic they deploy is an opportunity for you to assert your power, to reinforce your boundaries, and to strengthen the foundation of your independence. Recognizing these attempts and refusing to succumb transforms every attack into proof of your sovereignty. Each effort to manipulate becomes a reflection of their impotence and a confirmation of your resilience. The mind that once cowered now stands unshakable. The spirit that once doubted now thrives in freedom. Your clarity, your focus, and your unbreakable resolve make you untouchable. Every manipulation attempt that fails reinforces the life you now command. You are no longer subject to external control. You are free, powerful, and fully in charge of the direction your life takes. The battle for control is never about actions alone. It is waged in silence, in subtle cues, in the unseen corners of your mind where doubt can creep in and weaken resolve. They know the most effective power is over your emotions, because if they can bend how you feel, they can bend how you act. But emotional mastery is your armor, and every time you recognize their attempts, you grow stronger, sharper, and more unshakable. They will project their insecurities onto you, accusing you of faults that are never yours, twisting reality to make you question yourself. This is a tactic designed to confuse, to weaken, to make you doubt your perception of truth. But the mind that has been trained to see clearly, that has anchored itself in awareness, cannot be deceived. Every accusation you encounter is an opportunity to reaffirm your clarity, to reinforce your trust in yourself, and to reject manipulation with quiet confidence. Guilt is another weapon. They will attempt to make you feel responsible for their emotions, their failures, their unhappiness. They will suggest that your freedom, your independence somehow harms them. But freedom is not a crime. Choosing yourself, honoring your boundaries, and safeguarding your energy is not selfish. It is necessary. Every time you recognize guilt for what it is, you reclaim the space they tried to occupy. You reinforce the understanding that your life, your choices, and your energy belong to you alone. Anger and frustration will be used to provoke, to fracture your composure, to make you doubt your strength. They will seek to ignite reactions that feed their sense of control. But calmness is your victory. When you observe without reacting, when you remain centered in your own truth, you render their efforts meaningless. Every attempt to trigger you becomes a mirror reflecting their own impotence, while your serenity signals the unstoppable power that comes from mastery over yourself. They may try to confuse you with charm or nostalgia, attempting to draw you back into patterns that once allowed them influence. Flattery, promises, or sudden warmth may surface, but your intuition has been sharpened. You see these maneuvers clearly, and you do not bend. You do not seek validation from someone who thrives on control. You remain anchored in yourself, untouchable by their attempts to manipulate, unshaken by their fleeting tactics. The ultimate response to emotional warfare is internal sovereignty. Every time you recognize an attempt to destabilize you and refuse to comply, you build strength that cannot be undermined. Every moment of emotional self-mastery becomes a declaration of independence. Every reflection, every pause, every conscious choice reinforces that your mind and your life are yours and yours alone. This is where freedom solidifies. When you no longer react to attempts at control, when your emotions remain yours and yours alone, you transcend their influence entirely. Their tactics, their projections, their manipulations all lose power the moment you refuse to engage. You become untouchable because your strength is no longer contingent on their behavior, their opinions, or their attempts to sway you. Every emotional battle they wage is transformed into proof of your unshakable independence. You are free. You are sovereign. You are in control of every thought, every feeling, and every choice, and no one can take that from you. Once you have claimed your emotional sovereignty, boundaries become the most powerful tool you possess. They are not walls to isolate you, but lines that define where your power begins and where manipulation ends. Every boundary you set is a declaration that your life, your mind, and your energy are yours to command. When someone tries to cross these lines, their efforts expose their desperation, their fear, and the weakness that lies behind every attempt to control you. Each push against your boundaries only reinforces your strength and your independence. Learning to say no without hesitation is a cornerstone of true freedom. No longer do you compromise your values, your time, or your energy to appease someone else. Every no is a shield, protecting your focus, your clarity, and your well-being. You no longer allow guilt or obligation to override your sense of self. Every decision, every refusal, every assertion of your limits strengthens your autonomy and signals to the world and to anyone who ever tried to dominate you that you are untouchable. Managing your energy becomes non-negotiable. Every interaction, every commitment, every thought is a choice. You no longer allow drama, chaos, or attempts at manipulation to drain your vitality. Instead, you invest your energy intentionally, focusing on growth, purpose, and alignment with what truly matters to you. Your power is in your allocation, in the awareness that every ounce of attention and effort you expend must serve your life, your growth, and your freedom. Self-awareness amplifies this power. You recognize patterns of manipulation before they take root. You see attempts to instill guilt, shame, or fear before they can influence your mind. You respond with intention, not impulse. You operate from a place of clarity and calm, unshaken by external forces. You are fluid yet uncontainable, adaptive yet anchored, present yet untouchable. No tactic, no words, no pressure can bend you against your will. The energy that once belonged to others now belongs to you. Every choice, every thought, every interaction becomes a conscious act of sovereignty. You move through life with precision, purpose, and strength. You no longer react to attempts at control because you understand that power comes not from confrontation, but from discipline, from awareness, and from the unwavering defense of your boundaries. Your life becomes an expression of your independence, a reflection of the strength that has been forged through resistance and clarity. True power is silent. It does not need to be broadcast, and it does not seek recognition. It exists in the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing your mind, your emotions, and your life are yours alone. Those who once tried to dominate you may linger. They may resent. They may attempt to test your limits, but their influence has ended. Your presence, your calm, your clarity, your unwavering boundaries, they are proof that you are no longer subject to anyone's control. The ultimate truth is simple. When your boundaries are unbreakable, your energy is untouchable, and your choices are yours alone. No one can manipulate, coerce, or dominate you. You have reclaimed what was always yours. You have transformed every attempt at control into a testament of your independence. You are sovereign. You are free. You are untouchable. And with every decision you make, Every boundary you uphold, every ounce of energy you protect, you fortify a life that is wholly and irrevocably your own. Freedom is not a destination. It is a daily practice, a relentless commitment to honoring yourself above all else. It is the decision to live unapologetically, to act with clarity, to refuse compromise in the face of manipulation. Once you claim this space, your life transforms. Every choice, every thought, every breath becomes a deliberate act of empowerment. You no longer shrink to meet the expectations of others. You no longer seek approval from those who once sought to control you. You exist fully, boldly, and entirely on your own terms. Living unapologetically means embracing your power without hesitation. Confidence is no longer performative. It is a quiet certainty that radiates from within. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to explain yourself. Your life, your energy, your decisions are yours alone. And the recognition of this truth is magnetic. It draws people, opportunities, and experiences aligned with your freedom, while those who attempt to manipulate, coerce, or dominate fall away, unable to touch the life you now command. Trusting your intuition becomes second nature. Every attempt to lure you back with charm, flattery, or nostalgia is met with awareness. You recognize manipulation immediately, and your response is rooted in clarity, not fear or longing. You honor your instincts and protect your energy, moving forward without hesitation or compromise. Freedom requires action, and your every step is deliberate, aligned with truth, purpose, and your unshakable sense of self. Self-love anchors every choice you make. The moments when others tried to control you, to instill doubt, to provoke fear, were opportunities to rebuild and strengthen your sense of worth. Every act of self-affirmation, every boundary maintained, every refusal to compromise reinforces the life you are creating. You no longer allow anyone else's insecurities, fears, or expectations to dictate your path. You prioritize your growth, your clarity, and your happiness above all else. Living unapologetically also inspires those around you. Your courage, your presence, your refusal to yield to control radiates power. It is magnetic, drawing people who respect strength, authenticity, and freedom. You do not need to seek attention or validation. Your life itself is proof of the strength and clarity that comes from refusing to be controlled. Your example becomes a silent yet undeniable message. Autonomy is not just possible, it is a choice, a practice, and a declaration. The ultimate reality is that when no one can control you, your life is untouchable. No more doubt, no more fear, no more compromise to satisfy someone else's need for dominance. Every decision is deliberate, every action intentional, every thought anchored in freedom. Your mind, your heart, your energy belong entirely to you, and no one can take that away. The liberation you feel is absolute because it comes from mastery over yourself, not from external circumstances. You are sovereign. You are unstoppable. You are free. Every moment you live unapologetically strengthens your independence, sharpens your clarity, and amplifies your power. The life you create is not defined by the attempts of others to control you. It is defined by your unwavering commitment to yourself. You are untouchable, unbreakable, and entirely in command of your destiny. Every breath, every choice, every step forward is a testament to the freedom that is yours and yours alone. The power you now hold is unshakable because it is rooted in awareness, clarity, and unwavering self-possession. Every attempt at control you have resisted, every boundary you have reinforced, every act of self-mastery you have committed to has strengthened the foundation of your freedom. You are no longer subject to manipulation, coercion, or the invisible pressures that once dictated your choices. Your mind, your energy, your life, every aspect of you is sovereign, untouchable, and fully yours. Your presence alone becomes a declaration of power. Those who once tried to dominate you sense it immediately. They see the confidence, the calm, the unwavering strength that cannot be bent or swayed. Their attempts to provoke fear, guilt, or doubt no longer land because your energy is anchored in self-trust, self-respect, and the knowledge that no one outside of you controls your reality. Every interaction, every glance, every word exchanged becomes a testament to your autonomy. You radiate power without needing to assert it, because your life itself is proof of the sovereignty you have reclaimed. Energy management is your ultimate weapon. No longer do you expend yourself on chaos, drama, or attempts to control your mind. Every decision is deliberate. Every focus is intentional. You allocate your energy toward growth, purpose, and alignment with your values. You have learned that freedom is preserved not just through resistance, but through the conscious direction of your energy, attention, and actions. What once drained you now fuels you, because your life is governed by intention, not manipulation. Every emotional attack becomes irrelevant. When they attempt to provoke anger, shame, or guilt, you respond with calm, clarity, and unshakable awareness. You do not feed their need for control. You do not react impulsively or surrender your power. Each moment of composure strengthens the foundation of your independence. Each refusal to be triggered becomes a reaffirmation of your sovereignty. They may push, prod, and test you endlessly, but you remain anchored, unmovable, untouchable. Trusting yourself becomes effortless. Your intuition, once clouded by doubt and manipulation, now guides every decision with precision. You recognize deception instantly. You honor your instincts. You move forward without hesitation, without compromise, without fear of retribution. Freedom is not passive. It is an active, conscious choice, and every step you take in alignment with your truth reinforces the life you have claimed as your own. Self-love solidifies every act of independence. Every attempt to control you that once inflicted doubt now serves as a reminder of your strength. Every boundary maintained, every no asserted, every moment of intentional choice is a celebration of your worth. You prioritize your well-being, your clarity, and your energy above all else, and in doing so, you create a life that cannot be diminished or disrupted by anyone else's desires or fears. Your life is no longer defined by the attempts of others to control you. It is defined by your unwavering commitment to yourself. Every thought, every action, every decision is a reflection of the freedom you now embody. You are sovereign, unstoppable, and entirely in command of your reality. No one can influence your mind, sway your emotions, or dictate your life. You are untouchable, unbreakable, and fully alive in the power that is yours and yours alone. Every breath you take, every step you take, every choice you make is proof of the life you have earned and the unshakable freedom you now hold.